Hello, English learners. Welcome to English in Advance. I am your host, Jessica, and I am so incredibly happy that you have decided to join me today. You are listening to a special edition of our podcast designed specifically for those of you who want to stop just studying English and start actually living it. Today we are doing something different. We are embarking on a journey together, a full hour of immersion where we will explore the nuances, the rhythm, and the soul of real-life English conversations. If you have been looking for a sign to push your English to the next level, this is it. For the next hour, we are going to focus on the art of connection. Often in textbooks, we learn robotic phrases. We learn to say, "Hello, how are you? I am fine, thank you." But in the real world, in the streets of London, in a cafe in New York, or a bustling market in Sydney, people connect differently. We use emotion, we use idioms, and we flow from one topic to another. My goal today is to be your guide and your speaking partner. I want you to relax. If you are driving, keep your eyes on the road but your ears open. If you are walking, find a rhythm. If you are at home, maybe grab a cup of tea or coffee. We are going to treat this like a conversation between friends. We will not be using any lists today. We will not be memorizing boring grammar tables. Instead, I will tell you stories, we will listen to dialogues, and I will ask you to speak out loud. Yes, I want you to speak. When I ask you a question, answer me. When I ask you to repeat a phrase, say it with confidence. This is a safe space, and making mistakes is just part of the magic of learning. So let us begin with the most fundamental part of any conversation, which is the greeting and the initial reconnection. Imagine you are walking down a busy street. It is a sunny Tuesday afternoon. The air smells like fresh coffee and rain. Suddenly you look up and you see someone you recognize. It is an old friend you haven't seen in maybe 6 months. Now, in a textbook, you might say, "Hello, it is nice to see you." But in reality, we need more energy. We need to express surprise and delight. Listen to this phrase, "Long time no see." I will say it again, "Long time no see." This is a grammatically strange phrase because it is actually broken English that became perfect English over time. It means exactly what it says. It has been a long time since I saw you. I want you to try saying that with emotion. Imagine you are surprised. You are happy. Say it now. Long time no see. Did you get the rhythm? It goes down and then up. Long time no see. Excellent. Now let's add another layer to that. We often pair that phrase with a question about life. We don't usually say, "How are you?" immediately. We might say, "How have you been?" Notice the grammar there. We are using the present perfect tense. How have you been? This suggests we are interested in the period of time from the last time we met until right now. Let's put this into a context. Imagine our characters, Sarah and Mark. Sarah is walking into a library. She sees Mark near the history section. She walks over, taps him on the shoulder, and says, "Oh my gosh, Mark, long time no see. How have things been?" Now, listen to how Mark responds. He doesn't just say good, he says, "Hey Sarah, what a surprise. I've been great, just really busy with work. How about you? Did you hear the flow there?" Mark acknowledged the surprise. He said, "What a surprise." This is a lovely phrase to keep in your pocket. It validates the other person's excitement. If someone is happy to see you, show them you are happy too. What a surprise. Let's practice that. I want you to imagine you just bumped into me at the supermarket. I say hello to you. You respond. Say, "What a surprise." Good. Now, let's combine it. Say, "What a surprise." "How have you been?" This brings us to a very common problem many English learners face. It is the fear of the silence. You say hello, they say hello, and then silence. That awkward pause where nobody knows what to say. We want to destroy that silence today. We want to build a bridge to the next topic. The best way to do this is by observing your environment or asking an open-ended question based on the current situation. This is called the pivot. You pivot or turn the conversation from a greeting to a topic. Let's go back to Sarah and Mark in the library. Sarah has greeted Mark. Now she needs to pivot. She looks at the book in his hand. She says, "I didn't know you were into history books. What are you reading?" This is a perfect pivot. She observed something real, the book, and asked a question. This takes the pressure off her and puts the spotlight on Mark. People love talking about themselves. If you want to be a great conversationalist in English, you don't need to be the most interesting person in the room. You just need to be the most interested person. Let's practice a pivot. Imagine we are at a coffee shop. You and I. We have already said hello. Now, I am holding a giant iced coffee. It looks delicious. I want you to ask me about it. You could say, "That coffee looks amazing. What did you order?" Try saying that. "That coffee looks amazing. What did you order?" Perfect. By doing this, you have started a conversation about coffee, which can lead to talking about food, which can lead to talking about restaurants, and suddenly we are talking for 20 minutes. Now, I want to go deeper into the phrase Mark used earlier. He said, "I have been really busy with work." This is the most common answer you will hear in English-speaking countries, especially in the US and UK. We are obsessed with being busy. But sometimes saying, "I'm busy," can sound like you want to end the conversation. It can sound dismissive. So how do we talk about our lives without sounding like a robot or sounding rude? We add detail. This is the news plus emotion technique. Instead of just saying, "I'm busy," you say, "I've been so busy, but I'm really enjoying my new project." Or you could say, "I've been a bit stressed actually, but I'm looking forward to the weekend." Do you see the difference? You give a fact, and then you add a feeling. This invites the other person to connect with you emotionally. Let's try this. I am going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer using the News Plus emotion technique. Even though I can't hear you, I want you to say it out loud. Here's the question. How is your job going? Take a moment. Don't just say, "It is good." Think of a fact. Maybe you have a new boss. Maybe you are tired. Now add an emotion. Are you happy about the boss? Are you excited for a break? Put it together. I might say, "It is really intense right now, but I am learning a lot." Now you try. How is your job going? That was great. I can imagine you sounded very natural. This technique changes a simple exchange into a real human connection. Let's move on to another very important aspect of socializing, which is making plans. Often, when we see someone we like, we say, "We should hang out sometime." But be careful. In English, "we should hang out sometime" is often a lie. Well, not a lie, but it is a polite filler. It often means, "I like you, but I am not actually going to make a plan." If you really want to see the person, you need to be specific. You need to use what I call the concrete proposal. Instead of sometime, try saying, "Are you free this coming Saturday?" Or, "We should grab coffee next week. What is your schedule like?" Let's listen to a conversation where this happens. Listen closely to the transition from small talk to making a plan. Speaker A says, "It was so great running into you." Speaker B says, "I know. I can't believe it's been a year. Speaker A says, look, I don't want to keep you if you're busy, but we should properly catch up. Are you free for lunch on Friday? Speaker B says, Friday works for me. I'll text you the details. Did you catch that phrase? Properly catch up. This is wonderful. To catch up means to update each other on your lives. Adding the word properly emphasizes that you want a real conversation, not just a quick hello on the street. It shows you value the friendship. And notice how Speaker A gave an out. They said, I don't want to keep you if you're busy. This is polite. It shows you respect their time. I want you to repeat that phrase after me because it is very sophisticated and polite. I don't want to keep you if you're busy. Try it. I don't want to keep you if you're busy. Excellent. Now the second part. But we should properly catch up. Your turn. But we should properly catch up. Now let's mix it all together. Imagine you are leaving the conversation. You want to be polite, show respect for time, and propose a meeting. Try to say the whole thing. I don't want to keep you if you're busy, but we should properly catch up. You sound like a native speaker when you use flow like that. As we continue our journey today, I want to talk about active listening. You know, speaking is only half of the equation, maybe even less than half. The best communicators are the best listeners, but listening in a second language is exhausting. I know. I have been there learning languages myself. Your brain gets tired trying to translate every word. Here is the secret. Stop translating. Start predicting. When you are listening to someone, try to focus on the key content words, the nouns and the verbs. The little grammar words will fall into place. Also, use listener sounds. In English, we make a lot of noises to show we are listening. We say things like, uh-huh, oh, really, no way, that's crazy. If you stay completely silent while someone is talking, they might think you don't understand or that you are bored. Let's practice listener sounds. I am going to tell you a short story. I want you to interject. I want you to make a sound or say a short phrase to show you are listening. Ready? Here is my story. So, last week I went to the airport to catch a flight to Paris. Now you say, oh really, or Nice. But when I got to the counter, I realized I had left my passport at home. Now you say, oh no, or you're kidding. I had to rush all the way back home in a taxi, and the traffic was terrible. Now you say, that's awful. But miraculously, I made it back to the airport with 10 minutes to spare. Now you say, wow, or that's lucky. Do you see how much more dynamic that feels? You are participating in the story without taking over the story. You are fueling the speaker. This is called back-channeling in linguistics, but we just call it being a good listener. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about a topic that comes up in almost every casual conversation, the weekend. Asking, how was your weekend? Or, do you have plans for the weekend? Is the bread and butter of English small talk. It is safe, it is friendly, and it applies to everyone. But again, we want to move past the basic textbook answers. If someone asks, how was your weekend? Don't just say, it was fine. That is a conversation killer. Even if you did nothing, make that nothing sound interesting. You can say, it was incredibly relaxing. I basically didn't leave the sofa. That sounds much better than, it was fine. It paints a picture of cozy relaxation. Or, if you had a bad weekend, you can be honest but humorous. You could say, oh, it was a bit of a disaster, to be honest. My washing machine broke and flooded the kitchen. This invites the other person to sympathize with you. They might say, oh, you poor thing, or that is a nightmare. Let's explore some vocabulary related to weekend activities that goes beyond "I went to the park." If you stayed home and watched TV series back to back, we call that binge watching. And you can say, "I binge watched a new crime documentary." If you did chores and ran around doing small tasks, we call those errands. You can say, "I spent the whole Saturday running errands." If you just spent time with friends with no specific plan, we call that hanging out or just chilling. I just chilled with my roommates. I want you to think about your last weekend right now. What did you do? Did you binge watch something? Did you run errands? Did you just chill? I will ask you, and I want you to answer using one of these new phrases. Jessica asks, "So what did you get up to last weekend?" Answer me now, that was excellent. By using phrases like running errands or binge watching, you sound current. You sound like you understand the modern culture of English speakers. Now let's try a slightly more advanced scenario. Sometimes conversations get a little bit awkward or sticky. Maybe someone asks you a question you don't want to answer, or maybe you disagree with someone. How do you handle that politely? This is where the softener comes in. Softeners are words we use to make our speech less direct and more polite. Words like actually, to be honest, kind of, or a little bit. Imagine someone asks, "Do you want to go to the cinema tonight?" But you are exhausted. Direct answer, "No, I don't." This sounds rude. Softened answer, "Actually, I'm kind of exhausted today. Do you mind if we take a rain check?" Take a rain check. There is a beautiful idiom for you. It comes from baseball culture in America. If a game was canceled due to rain, you got a ticket for a future game, a rain check. Now, it just means, "Can we do this another time?" It is the perfect way to say no without hurting feelings. Let's practice this. I am going to invite you to a party tonight. You are too tired. I want you to decline politely using actually and rain check. I say, "Hey, a few of us are going to a karaoke bar tonight. You should come." Now you respond. Say, "Actually, I am really tired. Can I take a rain check?" Try it. Perfect. You rejected the offer, but you kept the relationship warm. That is the ultimate goal of social English. We are coming up to a deeper section of our practice today. We are going to talk about the narrative. Everyone loves a storyteller. When you speak English, do you just give facts or do you tell stories? A story doesn't have to be a novel. It can be 3 sentences. The structure of a micro-story is context, action, result. Context, I was making dinner last night. Action, and I accidentally used salt instead of sugar in the cake. Result, it tasted absolutely terrible. If you just said, "I made a bad cake, it is boring," but "I was making dinner," sets the scene. We are there with you. We can visualize the kitchen. I want to practice the past continuous tense here. I was doing. This is essential for setting the scene. I was walking to work. I was sleeping. I was thinking about you. Let's do a drill. I will give you a simple fact and I want you to turn it into the context part of a story using the past continuous. Fact, you drove home. Context, I was driving home when. Fact, you shopped for clothes. Context, I was shopping for clothes when. Fact, you waited for the bus. Context, I was waiting for the bus when. Do you feel how that creates suspense? I was waiting for the bus when. The listener leans in. They want to know what happened next. Did the bus crash? Did you see a celebrity? Did it start raining money? You have captured their attention. Now, let's talk about description. English is a language that loves adjectives, but we often overuse the boring ones like good, bad, and nice. To sound more attractive and fluent, we need to upgrade our adjectives. Instead of, the movie was good, say, the movie was gripping, or hilarious, or moving. Instead of, the weather is bad, say, the weather is miserable, or gloomy. Instead of, the food was nice, say, the food was delicious or flavorful. Let's play the upgrade game. I will say a boring sentence, and I want you to say the upgraded version. I will give you the word to use. Sentence: it is very cold outside. Upgrade word: freezing. Your turn: it is freezing outside. Sentence: that joke was very funny. Upgrade word: hilarious. Your turn: that joke was hilarious. Sentence: I am very tired. Upgrade word: exhausted. Your turn: I am exhausted. This is a simple change, but it makes your English pop. It adds color. I'm exhausted carries so much more weight than I'm very tired. As we move through this hour of practice, I want you to check in with your body. Are you tense? Are your shoulders up by your ears? Relax them. Speaking a foreign language requires physical relaxation. If your jaw is tight, the sounds won't come out naturally. Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Good. We have covered greetings, pivots, weekend plans, polite rejections, storytelling structures, and vocabulary upgrades. That is a lot for just the first part of our session, but you are doing great. The key is not to memorize every single thing I said, but to get used to the feeling of these patterns. Let's circle back to the idea of common ground. When you meet someone new, your goal is to find common ground as fast as possible. This is the me too moment. If someone says, I grew up in a small town, and you did too, jump on that. Oh, really? Me too. I love small towns. If someone says, I hate waking up early, validate it. I am exactly the same. I need 3 coffees before I can function. I am exactly the same. This is a powerful phrase for connection. It creates a bond. It says, we are a tribe. We are alike. I want you to practice agreeing with me enthusiastically. I say, I find English grammar really frustrating sometimes. You say, I am exactly the same. It is so confusing. Try it now. Great energy. That enthusiasm is what makes people want to keep talking to you. Now, let's shift our focus to the practical side of life. We are moving from the fun, relaxed world of chatting into the practical, sometimes stressful world of getting things done. This is where English becomes a tool. It is not just about being friendly anymore. It is about getting what you need. We are going to talk about how to order food like a local, how to make appointments over the phone without having a panic attack, and most importantly, how to complain or solve a problem without being rude. Let's start with something we all do almost every day, which is ordering food or coffee. You might think this is simple. You might think you just need to say, I want coffee. But stop right there. In English-speaking cultures, saying, I want to a server can sound incredibly demanding. It sounds like a toddler asking for a toy. We need to soften it. We need to wrap our request in politeness. The 2 magic phrases you need to tattoo on your brain are, could I have, and I'd like. Let's practice the rhythm of these. It is not could I have. It is could I have. It links together. Listen to the melody. Could I have a cappuccino, please? It goes up at the end. Try that now. Could I have a cappuccino, please? Now let's try the other one. I'd like. This is the contraction of I would like. I'd like the chicken salad, please. Notice the D sound. It is very soft. I-D like. If you forget the D and say, I like the chicken salad, you are just stating a fact about your preferences. You aren't actually ordering it. So that little D is crucial. I'd like. Say it with me. I'd like the chicken salad. Now let's make it real. Imagine you are in a busy cafe. The barista is rushing. It is your turn. You want a large latte with oat milk. Use can I get, which is the casual cousin of could I have. It is very common in America and the UK now. Can I get a large oat milk latte? Try saying that with a bit of speed, because the cafe is busy. Can I get a large oat milk latte? Excellent. But life isn't always simple. Sometimes you have special requests. You need the dressing on the side. You are allergic to nuts. You need the coffee extra hot. How do we add these constraints without sounding difficult? We use the word actually or the phrase if possible. Listen to this order. Could I have the burger, but without onions, if possible? The if possible makes you sound incredibly considerate. You are acknowledging that you are asking for extra work. Or try this one. I'd like the salad, but could I get the dressing on the side? We use could I get in the middle of the order to specify the change. Let's role play. I am the waiter. I ask you, what can I get for you today? I want you to order a sandwich, but ask for no tomatoes. Use the polite structures we just practiced. Ready? Hi there. What can I get for you today? Answer now. I'd like the sandwich, but no tomatoes, please. Did you say please? Always say please. It is the golden rule. Now let's move to a slightly more uncomfortable situation. The mistake. The waiter brings your food. You ordered the steak, but they brought you fish. Or you asked for no onions, and your burger is covered in onions. Many English learners are too shy to say anything. They just eat the onions. But you have a voice, and I want you to use it. The key to sending food back is to accept part of the blame, even if it is not your fault. It sounds strange, but it de-escalates the tension. We often start with phrases like, I think or I'm sorry. We don't say, you brought the wrong food. That is an accusation. We say, I'm so sorry, but I think there's been a mix-up. I actually ordered the steak. Analyze that sentence. I think there's been a mix-up. You are checking the situation. A mix-up is a gentle word for a mistake. It suggests the system failed, not the person. And then, I actually ordered. Remember actually from before? It is back. It is the soft corrector. Let's practice this specific phrase because it is a lifesaver. I think there's been a mix-up. Say it. I think there's been a mix-up. Now add the correction. I asked for no cream. Put it together. Sorry, I think there's been a mix-up. I asked for no cream. Imagine the waiter just put a coffee with a mountain of whipped cream in front of you. You are on a diet. You need to return it. Speak to me. Tell me there's a mix-up. Go. Perfect. You were firm but polite. The waiter will be happy to fix it because you were nice about it. Let's leave the restaurant now and tackle the beast that scares everyone, the telephone. Talking on the phone in a second language is terrifying because you can't see lips moving. You can't see body language. It is just you and the audio. But don't worry. Phone calls follow a script. If you know the script, you can handle the call. Let's focus on making an appointment, maybe a doctor, a dentist, or a haircut. The opening is always the same. Hi. I'm calling to make an appointment. Or, if you want to sound more formal, I'd like to schedule an appointment. After you say that, the receptionist will usually ask, when were you thinking? Or, what days work for you? You need to have your calendar ready, and you need to know how to propose time slots. Do you have anything available on Tuesday? I'm free in the mornings next week. Is there any slot open after 5 p.m.? But what if they offer you a time that is bad for you? Receptionist, we have an opening on Monday at 9 a.m. You can't make it. Don't just say no. Say, that doesn't work for me. Do you have anything later? That doesn't work for me. This is a standard phrase. It is neutral and effective. Let's try a simulation. I am the receptionist at a dental clinic. Ring, ring. I pick up. Dental care, how can I help you? You say, hi, I'd like to make an appointment. Sure thing. Are you a new patient? You say, yes, I am. Okay, we have a slot this Thursday at 2 p.m. Does that work? Now, I want you to say no and ask for Friday morning. Go ahead. Did you use that doesn't work for me? Or maybe I can't make that time. Both are good. And did you ask, how about Friday morning? How about is a great tool for negotiation. Now let's look at a phrasal verb that is essential for appointments, to fit someone in. If the doctor is very busy, you might ask, could you possibly fit me in earlier? This means, can you find a tiny space in the schedule for me? It is a great phrase to use if you have an emergency. I have a terrible toothache. Is there any way you could fit me in today? Try saying that with a sense of urgency. You are in pain. You need help. Is there any way you could fit me in today? Let's switch context to a professional or semi-professional problem. Tech support. Your internet is down, or your credit card was blocked. You have to call a hotline. You have to navigate the menu. Press 1 for English. Press 2 for frustration. Finally, you get a human. You need to explain the problem clearly. The structure here is context plus issue plus impact. Context, I was trying to pay for my groceries. Issue, and my card was declined. Impact, but I know I have funds in the account. If you just say, my card isn't working, the agent has to ask 20 questions. If you give the full story, you save time. Let's practice the context plus issue plus impact model. Imagine your internet is slow. Context, I am trying to work from home. Issue, but the connection keeps dropping. Impact mihi, and I can't join my video meetings. The connection keeps dropping. That is a specific tech phrase. It means it connects, disconnects, connects, disconnects. I want you to try this. Imagine you bought a blender and it is broken. It won't turn on. Context, I just unboxed the blender. Issue, but when I plug it in, nothing happens. Impact. So I think I received a faulty unit. Faulty unit. That sounds very professional. It means a broken product. Now, speaking to customer service can be frustrating. Sometimes they put you on hold for a long time. When they come back, they say, thanks for holding. You should reply, no problem, or that's fine, even if it wasn't fine. Being nice to the agent usually gets you a better result. But what if you are not understanding them? They are speaking too fast. They have a thick accent. You are panicking. Do not pretend to understand. That is dangerous. You might agree to pay $100 without knowing it. You need to take control. Use these phrases. I'm sorry, the line is a bit bad. Could you repeat that? This is a white lie. Maybe the line is fine, but it saves face. Could you speak a little more slowly, please? Just to clarify, you are saying that. Just to clarify. This is my favorite phrase in business English. It allows you to summarize what you heard to make sure you are right. Just to clarify, my appointment is confirmed for Tuesday, right? Just to clarify, I don't need to pay extra for this. I want you to practice this. I am going to say something complicated and fast. I want you to stop me and use the just to clarify technique. Here is my complicated sentence. So the policy actually dictates that the deductible is waived only if the incident occurs within the primary jurisdiction. Whoa, that was nonsense. Stop me. Say, sorry, just to clarify, what does that mean? Try it. Excellent. Never be afraid to stop the flow. It is your conversation too. Let's dive a little deeper into the psychology of problem solving in English. There's a concept called hedging. Hedging means using words to protect yourself from sounding too aggressive. We used I think earlier. Other hedging words are seem, appear, and a little bit. Compare these two sentences. 1. You made a mistake on my bill. 2. It seems there is a small mistake on my bill. Sentence 1 is a punch in the face. Sentence 2 is a gentle tap on the shoulder. It seems. It appears to be true, but I am open to the possibility that I am wrong. The heater doesn't work. The heater doesn't seem to be working. You are overcharging me. It appears I've been overcharged. Let's play the transformation game. I will give you the aggressive sentence. You give me the hedged, polite sentence using seem or appear. Aggressive. This report is wrong. Polite. This report seems to be incorrect. Try to say it. Aggressive. The waiter forgot our drinks. Polite. It seems the waiter has forgotten our drinks. Aggressive. You aren't listening to me. Polite. It seems like there is a misunderstanding. Do you feel the difference? The polite version keeps the door open for a solution. The aggressive version slams the door. In the UK especially, if you use the aggressive version, people might shut down and refuse to help you. Politeness is a currency. Spend it wisely. Now I want to touch on a very specific daily situation. Directions. We have all maps on our phones now, so we ask for directions less often, but we often have to give directions or clarify them. Common prepositions are key here. Just past, opposite, around the corner. It is just past the bank. It is directly opposite the station. Go around the corner and you'll see it. But what if you are lost? Really lost, and your phone is dead? You need to stop a stranger. Excuse me, I'm a bit turned around. Could you point me towards the station? I'm a bit turned around. This is a lovely idiom. It means I am lost. I am disoriented. It sounds very natural. Practice that. Excuse me, I'm a bit turned around. Let's imagine you are looking for the nearest pharmacy. Stop a stranger, me, and ask. Start with, excuse me. Use turned around or lost. Ask for the pharmacy. Go. Response. Oh, sure. It's just down the street. Take a left at the big red post box and it's right there. Did you catch the directions? Left at the red post box. Listening to directions is the ultimate test of rapid processing. If you miss one step, you are lost again. It is okay to repeat it back. Okay, so left at the post box. Got it. Thank you. We are moving towards the end of this practical section, but before we finish, I want to talk about ending the interaction. How do you get off the phone? How do you leave the shop? You can't just hang up. You need a sign-off. For a service call, thank you for your help. Have a good day. Simple. Effective. For an appointment call, great, see you on Tuesday, thanks. But what if they didn't help you? What if the problem isn't solved? You can still be polite but firm. Okay, I understand. I'll try that and call back if it doesn't work. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time. This acknowledges that they worked, even if the result wasn't what you wanted. Let's combine everything we have done in this part into a master simulation. We are going to do a full role play of a hotel reception scenario. You have arrived at your hotel. You are tired. You have a reservation. But there is a problem. I will be the receptionist. You are the guest. I will guide you through your lines. Receptionist. Good evening. Welcome to the Grand Hotel. How can I help you? Your line. Greet me and say you have a reservation under your name. Use, I have a reservation, or I'd like to check in. Go. Receptionist. Let me check. I see the booking, but I'm afraid we don't have any ocean view rooms left even though you requested one. We only have a view of the parking lot. Your line. Express disappointment politely. Use the actually technique. Say you specifically booked ocean view. Ask if there is anything they can do. Try. Oh, that's disappointing. I actually booked the ocean view specifically. Is there any way you could check again? Go. Receptionist. I am really sorry. It seems the system overbooked. I can offer you a complimentary breakfast to make up for it. Your line. Accept the offer or push for a better room. Let's practice accepting gracefully, but maintaining your dignity. Try. I appreciate the offer. I'll take the room, but please let me know if an ocean view opens up. Go. Receptionist. Absolutely, I will make a note of that. Here's your key. Enjoy your stay. Your line. Sign off, again try. Thanks for your help. Good night. Go. Well done. That was a complex interaction involving conflict, negotiation, and resolution. If you can handle that, you can handle almost anything. We've now laid the foundation with greetings and built the walls with problem-solving skills. But we are not finished. We are entering the most exciting territory of all. We are entering the world of ideas. This is where you stop being a passive observer and start becoming an active participant in the world. When you go out for dinner with friends, when you sit in a meeting at work, or when you are just chatting late at night, the conversation eventually turns to opinions. We talk about the news, we talk about technology, we talk about the future. Being able to express your thoughts clearly and being able to disagree without being rude is the mark of a truly advanced English speaker. So shake off the practicalities of the last section. We are not fixing the internet anymore. We are fixing the world, or at least we are talking about it. Let's begin with the most fundamental building block of discussion, stating your opinion. Most learners rely heavily on the phrase, I think this is good, I think that is bad. There's nothing wrong with I think, but it gets repetitive. It sounds a bit basic. To sound more authoritative and more interesting, we need to vary our openers. We need to signal to the listener how strong our opinion is. If you are very sure about something, you can use phrases like, I am convinced that, or there's no doubt in my mind that. Listen to the difference. I think social media is harmful. Standard. I am convinced that social media is harmful. Strong, powerful, confident. If you are offering a personal perspective that might be different from others, you can use from my perspective or the way I see it. The way I see it, we need to focus more on education. This phrase is excellent because it acknowledges that this is just your view. It invites others to share their view. It is less aggressive than saying, we must focus on education. Let's practice this right now. I want you to give me an opinion on a controversial topic, remote work. Some people love it, some people hate it. I want you to use the phrase, the way I see it. Complete this sentence. The way I see it, remote work is. Add your thought. Say it out loud. The way I see it, remote work is. Did you do it? Maybe you said, the way I see it, remote work is the future, or the way I see it, remote work is isolating. Whatever you said, using that opening phrase made you sound thoughtful. Now, let's look at a phrase for when you are making a guess or an estimation. Maybe you aren't 100% sure. You can say, I'm inclined to believe, or I tend to think. I'm inclined to believe that technology will solve this problem. This shows nuance. It shows you are open to being wrong. Let's move to the most delicate art in the English language, disagreeing. In many cultures, disagreement is direct. You say, no, you are wrong. In English, especially in British and American professional settings, saying you are wrong is considered very aggressive. It can stop a conversation dead. We prefer to soften the blow. We validate the other person's point before we destroy it. This is what I call the yes, but technique. You start by agreeing with part of what they said, or at least acknowledging it, and then you pivot to your disagreement. Common phrases for this are, I see your point, but that is a valid argument, however. I agree with you to an extent, but listen to this exchange. Person A, I think we should ban all cars in the city center. Person B, direct. That's a crazy idea. It would destroy businesses. Person B, polite. I see where you are coming from regarding pollution, but I worry that it might hurt local businesses. Do you hear the difference? The polite version validates the motivation, pollution, before criticizing the method. It makes person A feel heard. I want you to practice disagreeing with me. I am going to make a statement. I want you to use the phrase, I see your point, but, and then give a counter-argument. Here is my statement. Money is the most important thing for happiness. Now disagree with me, politely. Start with, I see your point, but go. Maybe you said, I see your point, but family is more important. Or, I see your point, but health matters more. Excellent. You have successfully disagreed without starting a fight. Sometimes, though, you need to disagree more firmly. Maybe the other person is saying something you really object to. In that case, you can use the phrase, I beg to differ. It sounds formal, but it is very common in serious discussions. I beg to differ. The data actually shows the opposite. Or, I have to disagree with you there. Let's try, I have to disagree with you there. It shows that your disagreement is necessary, not just a choice. I say, English is the hardest language in the world. You say, I have to disagree with you there. Mandarin is much harder. Try it. Now let's talk about the interruption. In a lively discussion, people talk over each other. It is natural. But how do you interrupt without being rude? You can't just shout. You need to ask for permission to enter the conversation. Phrases like, can I just jump in here, or may I add something, are perfect. Can I just jump in here? I think there is another side to this story. And the reverse is also true. How do you stop someone from interrupting you? Someone tries to cut you off, but you aren't finished. You need to hold the floor. You can say, if I could just finish my point, or let me just finish this thought. It is firm. You put your hand up slightly. Let me just finish this thought. Let's simulate a debate. We are at a dinner party. The topic is artificial intelligence. Is it good or bad? I will play the role of the optimist. You are the skeptic. You are worried about AI. I will start. Me. I think AI is going to solve all our medical problems. It is a miracle. Your turn. Interrupt me politely using, "Can I just jump in here?" And then express your worry using, "I am concerned that..." Ready? Me. "Seriously, the medical advances are going to be incredible." You interrupt now. "Did you say it? Can I just jump in here? I am concerned that it might be dangerous." Good. Now I will try to interrupt you. Me. "But wait, look at the efficiency." Your turn. Stop me. Hold the floor. Say, "Let me just finish my point." Go. That feeling of control is what fluency feels like. You are navigating the flow of the conversation. Now, let's go deeper. A good conversation isn't just A saying an opinion and B saying an opinion. It is about building an argument. It is about elaboration. If you say, "I like movies," that is boring. If you say, "I am a huge fan of cinema because it allows us to escape reality and experience other lives," that is deep. We use connecting words to elaborate, the reason being. For instance, to illustrate this, the reason being is a sophisticated way to say because. I don't eat meat. The reason being, I am concerned about animal welfare. Let's practice using the reason being. I ask you, why are you learning English? Don't just say, to get a job. Say, I am learning English to expand my horizons. The reason being, it connects me to the global community. Try to answer my question now with your own reason using that phrase. Jessica, why is English important to you? Answer now using the reason being. That sounded very academic and professional. Another aspect of deep discussion is clarifying what you mean. Sometimes we say something and realize it wasn't clear, or we see the other person looks confused. We need to rephrase. Useful phrases. What I mean by that is, or in other words, we need to cut costs. In other words, we can't afford the holiday party. He is a bit intense. What I mean by that is, he works very hard and expects everyone else to do the same. Imagine you are explaining your job to someone who doesn't understand it. You say, I work in digital marketing. They look confused. You say, what I mean by that is, I help companies sell things on the internet. Practice that transition. What I mean by that is. Say it out loud. Now let's tackle a very specific and common type of conversation, the recommendation. We often talk about books, movies, or restaurants we love. But it is good is not enough. We want to be persuasive. We want to sell it. Use strong adjectives and focus on the experience. You simply have to watch this show. It is mind-blowing. I highly recommend this book. It is a page-turner. I couldn't put it down. It is a must-see. A must-see, a must-read, a must-have. These are noun phrases that act as adjectives. This gadget is a must-have for travelers. I want you to recommend something to me right now. Think of your favorite movie. Tell me, Jessica, you have to watch movie name. It is a masterpiece. Go. I believe you. Masterpiece is a strong word. Let's shift back to the abstract topics. Sometimes conversations get philosophical. We talk about happiness, success, or the meaning of life. When discussing abstract concepts, we often use generalizations. Generally speaking, people are kind. On the whole, life is getting better. By and large, society is progressing. By and large is a wonderful phrase. It means mostly or in general. By and large, I am happy with my job. Let's practice this. I want you to make a general statement about your country. Is the food good? Are the people friendly? Start with by and large. By and large, people in my country are very hospitable. Your turn. Now, let's combine agreeing and adding a new point. This is called piggybacking. You jump on the back of someone else's idea and ride it further. I agree with what you said about education, and I would add that technology plays a huge role too. Building on that point, we also need to consider the cost. Building on that point. This makes you sound like a collaborative thinker. You aren't just waiting for your turn to speak, you are listening and adding value. Let's try a simulation. I say, I think healthy eating is difficult because junk food is so cheap. You want to agree and add that junk food is also everywhere. Availability. Say, I totally agree, and building on that point, it is also available on every corner. Try it. We are going to move into a slightly more advanced territory now, hypotheticals. Talking about things that are not real, but could be. This requires the conditional tenses. If I were the president, I would change the tax system. If I had known, I would have come earlier. Let's play the what if game. This is a classic conversation starter. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why? I want you to answer this in a full sentence. If I could have dinner with anyone I would choose, think about the grammar. If I could, I would. Answer me now. Who would it be? That is a great choice. Now tell me why. Use the reason being. Let's try another one. If you won the lottery tomorrow, what is the first thing you would buy? Don't say a house. Say, I would buy a house, or I would probably travel the world. Probably is a good addition here. It adds realism. Your turn. If you won the lottery, what would you do? These hypothetical conversations are great for dates, parties, or getting to know colleagues. They reveal a lot about a person's values. Now let's address diplomacy. Sometimes you have to deliver bad news or a negative opinion in a discussion. You don't want to hurt feelings. We use understatement. Instead of, this is a disaster, we say, this is not ideal. Instead of, I hate this, we say, I am not a huge fan of this. I am not a huge fan. This is the ultimate British way of saying, I hate it. Do you like sushi? To be honest, I'm not a huge fan. It is polite, it is soft, but the message is clear. I want you to practice this. I am going to offer you something you don't like. Maybe heavy metal music. I say, let's listen to some loud heavy metal. You say, actually, I'm not a huge fan of heavy metal. Try it. Now, let's look at the phrase, it depends. This is the smartest answer to almost any difficult question. Is it better to rent or buy a house? Well, it depends on your financial situation. It depends shows you see the complexity. But don't just stop there. Explain what it depends on. Structure. It depends on X. If X, then Y, but if A, then B. It depends on your budget. If you are rich, buy. But if you are saving, rent. I ask you, what is the best time to visit your country? Use, it depends. Tell me it depends on the weather or what you want to do. It depends on what you are looking for. If you like snow, come in winter. Give me your answer now. We are nearing the end of this intellectual journey. I want to leave you with a strategy for when you simply run out of things to say. It happens. Your brain freezes. The conversation dies. The solution is the return question. You answer, and then you immediately throw the ball back. I love jazz music. How about you? What do you listen to? I usually travel to Spain. What about you? Do you have a favorite destination? Never let the ball drop. Always catch it and throw it back. How about you? Is the most useful phrase in social English. Let's practice a rapid-fire round. I ask, you answer and throw it back. Me. I prefer tea over coffee. You. Answer, plus how about you? Me. I actually prefer coffee. Me. I am really enjoying this podcast. You. Answer, plus how about you? See? The conversation never dies if you keep asking. We have built a house of language together. We laid the foundation with greetings, we built the walls with problem-solving skills, and we put on the roof with deep intellectual discussions. Now, in this final part, we are going to decorate the house. We are going to add the warmth, the color, and the soul. We are going to talk about emotions, empathy, and future hopes. This is often the hardest part for learners. It is easy to ask, where is the train station? It is much harder to say, I feel overwhelmed and I need a hug. But if you want to build real relationships in English, you need to be able to share your heart. You need to be able to celebrate when things go well, and you need to be able to support others when things go wrong. Let's start on a high note. Let's talk about good news. When something amazing happens, saying, I am happy, is just not enough. We want to explode with energy. We use idioms that paint a picture of being high up in the sky. Common phrases include, I'm over the moon, I'm on cloud 9, or simply, I'm thrilled. I got the job. I'm absolutely over the moon. Over the moon. Imagine jumping over the moon like the cow in the nursery rhyme. It implies a sense of disbelief and pure joy. I want you to practice this energy. Imagine you just passed your English exam with a perfect score. You are calling your best friend. You don't just say, I passed. You say, you won't believe it. I passed. I'm over the moon. Try to put a smile in your voice. When you smile, the shape of your mouth changes, and the listener can actually hear the happiness. Try it now. I'm over the moon. Another great word is pumped. This is very common in American English. It means you are full of adrenaline and excitement. I'm so pumped for the concert tonight. I'm pumped about this new project. It sounds energetic and youthful. Try saying it. I'm so pumped. But life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes we feel low. Expressing sadness or stress in a second language can make you feel vulnerable. You might worry about sounding like you are complaining too much. The key is to use gradable adjectives and specific descriptors. Instead of, I am sad, try, I'm feeling a bit down today, or I've been having a rough week. A rough week, like sandpaper. It means things have been difficult and bumpy. I'm feeling a bit down. This is gentle. It invites the other person to ask, oh no, why? What's wrong? If you are extremely tired and stressed, use the word burnt out. This is a very relevant term in today's fast-paced world. It means you have no energy left. You are like a candle that has finished burning. I need a vacation. I'm completely burnt out. Let's practice this vulnerability. I am your friend. I ask you, hey, you look a little tired. Is everything okay? I want you to be honest but polite. Say, to be honest, it's been a really rough week. I'm a bit burnt out. Say it now. That sounded very authentic. Being able to admit you are tired is a strength, not a weakness. Now, this leads us to the most critical skill in friendship, empathy. When someone tells you they are burnt out, or they lost their job, or they broke up with their partner, what do you say? If you stay silent, it is awkward. If you say, don't worry, be happy, it is dismissive and rude. You need to validate their pain. The golden phrases are, I'm so sorry to hear that. That sounds incredibly tough. I can't imagine what you're going through. That sounds, is your best friend here? That sounds awful. that sounds exhausting. That sounds frustrating. By saying, that sounds, you are mirroring their emotion. Let's do a simulation. I am going to tell you some bad news. I want you to respond with empathy. Me. I worked on this report for 3 days and my computer crashed and I lost everything. Your turn. Use, that sounds, or, oh no, go. Did you say, that sounds like a nightmare, or that sounds so frustrating? Good. You made me feel understood. Sometimes empathy is about celebrating too. If I tell you good news, you need to match my energy. Me. I just got engaged. You cannot say, that is good. You have to say, no way, congratulations. I am so happy for you. No way, used in a positive tone, means, I am surprised and delighted. Practice that. No way, congratulations. Let's move on to hopes and dreams. Talking about the future is how we bond with people. We share our visions. We often use the structure, I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to learn to play the piano. I've always wanted to visit Japan. This implies a long-standing desire. It tells a story about who you are. Another phrase is, I'm dying to. This doesn't mean you are dying. It means you want something very, very much. I'm dying to try that new restaurant. I'm dying to see the new Bond movie. It is hyperbole. It shows passion. I want to ask you about your dreams. What is something you have always wanted to do? Is it skydiving, writing a book, starting a business? Tell me using the phrase, I've always wanted to. Jessica asks, what is a big dream of yours? Answer now. And how about short-term excitement? What are you dying to do this weekend or this month? Tell me. I'm dying to. Answer now. Great. These phrases make you sound like a passionate person with a life outside of work or study. Now we need to address a very practical social skill, the exit strategy. How do you end a conversation? You are at a party or on a call, and you need to leave. You can't just say bye and walk away. That is robotic. You need to pre-close the conversation. The pre-close signals that the end is coming. Common pre-closes. Right, I'd better get going. Anyway, I should probably let you go. Look, it's been lovely catching up, but I have to run. I'd better get going. This is standard. It implies you have a responsibility elsewhere, even if you just want to go home and sleep. I should probably let you go. This is very polite. It frames the ending as a favor to them, implying they are busy even if you are the one who wants to leave. Let's practice the look anyway technique. We use look or anyway to change the tone and signal the end. Imagine we have been talking for an hour. You want to leave. Say, anyway, it's been so great seeing you, but I'd better get going. Try it. The intonation should go down on anyway and up on great. Anyway, it's been so great seeing you, but I'd better get going. And then comes the final call to action. You don't just leave, you make a promise for the future. We should do this again soon. Let's not leave it so long next time. I'll text you. So the full structure of a goodbye is 1. Signal. Anyway. 2. Reason. I gotta run. 3. Appreciation. It was great chatting. 4. Future promise. Let's do it again. 5. Goodbye. See ya. It seems complex, but it happens in 5 seconds. Anyway, look, I gotta run to the shops. It was so great chatting. Let's do it again soon. See ya. I want you to try saying that whole block. It is a chunk of language. Treat it like a song lyrics. Anyway, look, I gotta run. Great chatting. Let's do it again soon. See ya? Go. You sound like a native speaker when you flow through those steps. As we are in the final minutes of our hour-long special, I want to talk about confidence one last time. Throughout this hour, you have practiced dozens of phrases. Long time no see. Just to clarify, the way I see it, I'm over the moon. But the most important ingredient is your mindset. Many learners wait until their English is perfect before they speak. They think, I will speak when I don't make mistakes. I am here to tell you, that day will never come. Even native speakers make mistakes. We stumble. We say, We use the wrong word. The difference is we don't panic. Real-life English is messy. It is fast. It is imperfect. And that is okay. Your goal is not perfection. It is connection. If you used long time no see and you smiled, you connected. If you said, I'm feeling a bit down, and your friend understood you, you connected. That is success. I want you to make a promise to yourself right now. Promise that the next time you have a chance to speak English, you will take it. You won't hide. You won't worry about grammar tables. You will just try to connect. Let's do one final grand review drill. I am going to throw situations at you rapidly from our whole session. I want you to react instantly. Don't think, just speak. Situation 1. You see a friend you haven't seen in 5 years. Action. Greet them. You say, long time, no see. Situation 2. You are at a cafe. Order a coffee politely. Action. Order. You say, could I have a coffee, please? Situation 3. Someone says, the earth is flat. Action. Disagree politely. You say, I have to disagree with you there. Situation 4. You just won $1 million. Action. Express joy. You say, I'm over the moon. Situation 5. You need to end the conversation. Action. Sign off. You say, anyway, I'd better get going. If you could do even half of those, you are a superstar. You have survived the boot camp. You have completed the English and Advanced Listening and Speaking Hour. This script we have gone through today is a tool. You can listen to it again. You can shadow me. You can pause and repeat. But the real magic happens when you turn off this podcast and go out into the world. Go talk to the cashier. Go message that friend abroad. Go comment on a YouTube video in English. Use your voice. Your voice is unique, and the world deserves to hear it, accent and all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this hour with me. I know time is precious, and you chose to spend it improving yourself. That says a lot about your character. I am Jessica. This has been English in Advance. We have covered social skills, daily problems, deep opinions, and emotional bonds. You are ready. So chin up, shoulders back, smile. You've got this. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep connecting. This is Jessica, signing off. Goodbye for now.